and I want you to, and I'd like to try it all again. I really would. Do you guys mind? Can we do it again? Is it not common practice for those being executed to... There's heads in this thing. Let's start again.
Johnny Depp at his absolute funniest. Johnny Depp has spent 40 years disappearing into other people. A pirate, a barber, a man with scissors for hands. He is very good at it, and he has been paid a great deal of money to keep doing it. But the funniest thing he has ever done required no costume at all. He just had to sit down in a chair, across from someone whose entire job was to get an answer out of him, and refuse.
Tell people about this movie.
What? Really? Well, you got me there. I'm stumped. Well, it's a good movie.
What you are about to see is not a blooper reel, though there is some of that.
It's just, there's something, I don't know, there's something about it that makes me want to kind of do this.
It is 40 years of professional interviewers, seasoned comedians, and one very expensive legal team, all discovering the same thing at roughly the same speed. You cannot steer this man.
Have you met any royalty along the way?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Okay.
Prince Charles and...
The other one.
That one.
You can only sit there and find out where he's going. Graham Norton. Most actors arrive at a talk show with 3 anecdotes their publicist approved that morning.
But wait a moment. Do I hear the clinking of rum bottles? The buckling of swash? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he's here, hot foot for the premiere of The Rum Diary. Please welcome Johnny Depp!
Johnny arrives with nothing, and somehow that turns out to be more dangerous. Graham Norton has interviewed everyone. He knows how to circle a difficult subject, land the question gently, and give the guest a soft exit if they want one.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
Presumably, is that enjoyable? That must be a nice feeling. Must be a lovely feeling.
Well, it's never expected. It's sort of it's a pleasure, yeah.
And you've just come to the premiere. How was that? Did it go well?
It was good, yeah, very good.
And the crowd showed up and did that, the screaming.
There was a bit of crowd, yeah.
Yeah.
So watch what happens here. Graham brings up Johnny's reputation, the wild years, the trouble, and offers him that exit.
You used to be a bit wild. I don't know if ever you were, physical like that, but you used to be a bit wild. And that's kind of gone now. You've sorted all that out, or you just hide it a bit deeper?
Yeah, I had it a bit deeper than that.
He asks whether all of that is behind him now, or whether he's simply learned to hide it better. Johnny takes the second option, immediately.
But do you ever cut loose? What kind of a drunk are you, Johnny?
What kind of a drunk?
Yeah.
Well, constant.
And then Graham, sensing he's got something, pushes 1 inch further. What kind of a drunk are you? Johnny. Well, constant. Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais built a career on saying the thing nobody in the room wants said out loud.
Seems like it. Yeah. Have you met before? Johnny, this is Stephen.
Hello, all right, nice to meet you.
No.
And Ricky, then.
I actually remember him from the Golden Globes.
Hi.
Yeah.
How's it going?
I'm fine, man. Just doing another film that's gonna make loads of money.
At the Golden Globes, he pointed that talent directly at Johnny Depp, in front of an audience of roughly 200 million people, and Johnny watched it happen like everybody else. Months later, the two of them were booked into the same project.
She thinks you're an idiot.
Sorry, have I done something to offend you?
What do you mean, like, trashing me in front of like 200 million people at the Golden Globes?
It was a while ago. They were jokes, Johnny. I didn't...
Oh, they were jokes?
Yeah.
Ricky, being Ricky, opened with a version of an apology, the kind that isn't one. They were jokes. Johnny. What Ricky did not know is that Johnny had gone home after those Golden Globes, gathered a few friends, and written material. Actual material.
You like jokes?
Yes.
Good. Because I actually got together with a few pals after the awards, and we wrote some jokes. about you. And I want you to know this, and I'm going to carry this with you for the rest of your days. No one makes fun of Tim Allen on my watch and gets away with it. Don't say anything. Just keep that in you. Okay? Here are my jokes.
He had been carrying it around, waiting. What's nastier than Ricky Gervais's jokes? His teeth. Why do people take an instant dislike to Ricky Gervais? Because it saves time. And why isn't Ricky Gervais circumcised? Because there's no end to that prick.
What is nastier than Ricky Gervais's jokes? His teeth. Why do people take an instant dislike to Ricky Gervais? Because it saves time. Why did Ricky Gervais do a series of audiobooks? So that the blind could hate him as well. Now this is from Angelina. Tell Ricky Gervais that me and Brad have a picture of him on our mantelpiece because it keeps the kids away from the fire. And why isn't Ricky Gervais circumcised? Because there's no end to that prick. Did you quit Twitter recently?
Watch Ricky's face during that last one. That is a man who has just been beaten at his own game. The Trump impression. In 2016, a comedy website called Funny or Die released a 50-minute film that had been made in complete secrecy. The lead performance was buried under a wig, a prosthetic chin, and about 4 hours of makeup. And for a while, nobody could work out who was inside it. It was Johnny Depp, playing Donald Trump. Here is the part that makes it better. When a host finally asked him about it, Johnny admitted he had never once done the impression before. No party trick, no running start, nothing. Someone simply called and asked, and he said yes, and then he had to figure it out.
And then he said, "How would you like to play Donald Trump?" And I loved that idea. I didn't care if I knew if I was capable or not, you know. I wanted to try, so I did my bit as Donald Trump.
Then the host asks him to do it live, with no makeup, no wig, no preparation whatsoever.
Because the way he speaks is very specific.
Yeah.
And he just goes,
all the Mexicans to get offset.
I told them to build me that wall. I want a sensational wall. A fabulous wall. I don't remember what the question was, but it doesn't matter because I'm not going to answer it anyway.
He's sensational. Absolutely fabulous.
Very good.
It's amazing.
Quick one before the next story. I'd like to know where in the world you're watching this from. City, country, whatever you're comfortable with. Drop it in the comments. I read them. All right, back to it. The Royal Family. By the mid-2000s, Johnny Depp was famous enough that heads of state wanted to meet him, which is how he ended up shaking hands with the future King of England at a film premiere.
Johnny, you spend a lot of time in London. Is this a kind of home from home? No.
You asked the question and then you said no. I was trying to get, the Sir thing, you know.
Oh, yes. Sir Johnny Depp. Have you met any royalty along the way?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Okay.
Prince Charles and...
Now, most actors would file that away as the story. They would remember the room, the handshake, the exact words. Johnny remembers the handshake. The name took slightly longer.
The other one.
That one. Came to the premiere of Finding Neverland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and sort of shook his hand and he was sort of, well, rather.
And what makes this one land is that he isn't performing indifference here. He's genuinely trying. You can watch him searching for it, coming up empty, and then simply reporting the outcome to a live television audience with no attempt whatsoever to cover for himself.
I didn't understand a word he said. And I don't think he understood a word I said. So it wasn't very meaningful, necessarily. And that one seemed nice, actually.
Prince Charles, and, the other one. That one, I didn't understand a word he said, and I don't think he understood a word I said. The driving lesson. Every parent eventually faces the moment where they hand their teenager a set of keys. Johnny decided to skip it entirely, and when a host asked why, the answer arrived in 2 parts.
How to drive.
You're not teaching him how to drive?
No.
Because you don't think you would be a good example of driving, or because he doesn't want you to, or it's too early?
The first part is a piece of self-awareness most people would keep to themselves. The second part is a number. And then, just as the audience settles, the host asks one small follow-up question that Johnny answers with a single word.
He has my instincts, my boy, and he's crashed about 5 golf carts.
Oh, really? Does he golf?
Nope.
No. Johnny Depp is here.
And that single word is what turns a good story into a great one. He has my instincts, my boy, and he's crashed about 5 golf carts. Does he golf? Nope.
You know what I got? All of the iPhones in the world going, wow. Wow, that's a pretty good animatronic.
The prank that backfired. Johnny Depp owns the Jack Sparrow costume, not a replica, the actual one. And over the years, he has developed a habit of putting it on when there is no camera and no film crew anywhere nearby.
And you do sometimes, you do the dressing up as Jack Sparrow. You seem to like that.
I just run around the house like that.
But didn't you go to Disneyland? I mean, that must have caused a sensation.
Usually this ends well. Once, it did not. The setup was simple enough. Full costume, full makeup, a room of people who had no idea, and a plan. What Johnny had not accounted for is that a grown man in pirate clothing appearing without warning produces a range of reactions, and delight is only one of them.
They just sort of looked at me as they were coming around, and I'm frozen, and I went, "Oi!" What are you looking at? And then, nothing. Yeah, tape this to the side, so I'm taping it to the side. I did a couple of them. I said, what are these little boxes? He said, oh, that's nitroglycerin. Okay.
Meeting Hunters Thompson. To understand the next 2 stories, you need to know one name. Hunter S. Thompson was a journalist, though that word does a lot of heavy lifting. He wrote about American politics from inside a chemical fog, kept an armory in his basement, and treated firearms roughly the way other people treat garden tools. Johnny met him in a Colorado bar in the 1990s while preparing to play him in a film, and they stayed close until Thompson's death.
He had a cattle prod. It's about yay big. And he's swinging that around, and in his left he had a stun gun. And threatening.
Their first meeting involved a cattle prod and a taser, and that was before either of them had said much. What happened later that night involves a propane tank, and I'd rather Johnny told you that part himself.
I hit the target, the nitroglycerin. The explosion was an 80-foot fireball. Straight into the air.
And my assistant got out of the car, and they both jumped out and die, mother... and blasted, and my assistant, God bless him, he peed his pants.
The ambush. That friendship produced one more story, and this is the one I'd put in a museum. 3 a.m, Thompson's house. A phone call comes in. A neighbor is on his way over. The neighbor, in this case, is the actor Don Johnson. A normal person hears the neighbor is coming over and puts the kettle on. Thompson heard it and reached a different conclusion, which he announced as a plan.
So when I didn't go, I sent my assistant over, who drives up into Hunter's driveway, and Johnny Depp and Hunter were hiding behind Hunter's car with shotguns loaded with blanks.
And Johnny says that when you're with Hunter, you don't ask questions. You just accept that this is now happening and go find your position behind the shrubbery. He didn't come in.
Never ever have I joined the Mile High Club.
Never have I ever. There is a party game where everyone starts with their hands up. Someone reads out a list of things a respectable person has never done, and you lower a finger for each one you have. The game only works if the players have led reasonably ordinary lives. In 2015, Johnny played it on daytime television, sitting between Gwyneth Paltrow and Paul Bettany in front of an audience of several hundred people. You can watch the exact moment the host realizes she has made a serious scheduling error because the questions get more extreme, and Johnny's answer keeps not changing.
Never ever have I seen one of my Mordecai co-stars naked.
Yeah.
Oh, seeing each other naked. Do you like your ass?
Wow. Like it?
Mm-hmm.
I accept it.
Okay.
The Rapid Fire Round. Rapid fire questions exist to catch a guest before their publicist-trained brain engages. Ask fast enough, and you get the honest answer. The technique works on almost everyone. It does not work here. And the reason is that there is no gap between Johnny's honest answer and his public one. They're the same answer. He just says it. So when he's asked which of his co-stars, out of a list that includes some of the most photographed women alive, is the best kisser, the reply comes back instantly. And it is a man's name. Javier Bardem.
I would ask you more, but
But you don't want to.
you're not going to answer me honestly.
I will. I will.
Out of all your co-stars, who's the best kisser?
Javier Bardem.
Do you have the courage to follow? Do you have the courage and fortitude to follow orders and stay brave in the sea? Oh, God, I hate this bloody line. We're the writers. I'm going to kill them.
The Pirates bloopers. 5 films, roughly 14 hours of finished footage, and somewhere in a Disney vault, considerably more than that of Johnny Depp ruining perfectly good takes. What comes through in the outtakes isn't clumsiness. He rarely forgets a line. What he does instead is commit fully to a choice that nobody on the crew was expecting. Hold it far past the point where a normal actor would break, and wait for someone else to go first.
Same thing, only better, please.
That's good for the hand. There?
You want me to finish that off with that hand thing, right?
No!
Swash, swash, buckle, buckle.
Watch the other actors in these clips. Half of them aren't laughing at the joke. They're laughing because they can see he isn't going to stop.
You see there at line 5, do you have the page up?
I don't see 101 yet, sir. Sorry.
Okay, sorry, take your time.
I've got a bit of a bushel here.
The courtroom. By 2022, Johnny Depp was no longer sitting in a talk show chair. He was in a courtroom in Virginia, being cross-examined on live television, and there was nothing remotely funny about why he was there, which is what makes this next part so strange to watch. Opposing counsel is describing a piece of video evidence. She reaches for a phrase to characterize how much wine he had poured himself, and she chooses 2 words that no lawyer has ever said in an American courtroom before or since.
You may have been drunk in that video, correct?
There's a possibility of that, yes, sir.
You poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint.
You poured yourself a mega pint of red wine. Correct. A mega pint! Johnny hears it, and for about half a second, the room stops being a courtroom.
The next document, did I read that right?
You read that very, very well.
The next one, Hollywood Reporter.
Did I read that right? He found something he liked in that room, and he kept it. Over the course of the questioning, Johnny is handed document after document and asked to read passages aloud. Each time, he finishes and turns back to the attorney with the same 4 words. Same tone, same small pause before it. Did I read that right? Did I read that right?
Did I read that right?
Yes, you did.
Did I read that right?
You did.
Did I read that right?
You did.
Did I read that right?
You did, sir.
Did I read that right?
You continue to read them right, yes.
And
you can hear her running out of ways to answer, until eventually she stops trying to vary it and simply confirms that yes, he is still reading them correctly. You continue to read them right, yes.
Hello. Hello. Whoa. Hello. How do you do? I have no sword. I come in peace. That's me mum.
The hospital. And then there's the version of this that was never meant to be a story at all. For years now, Johnny has been putting on that same costume and walking into children's hospitals. No press release, no camera crew of his own. He arrives in character, and he stays in character the entire time. Because the whole thing only works if the kids believe it. In Vancouver, he did it for 5.5 hours. He met patients, families, siblings sitting in corridors who had been there for weeks. And the footage that exists of it exists because the hospital filmed it, not because he asked anyone to.
He knew exactly who he was, and he loves, well, only the first movie, because they get a little bit scary after that. And yeah, no, it was wonderful. It was a really nice treat, because this was very unexpected for us to be here today.
It is the only room he has ever walked into where making people laugh actually mattered. And it is the only one where he never once tried to be difficult. 40 years of interviews, and he never once gave them what they came for. Every host on this list sat down with a plan. Every one of them left with something better and completely unusable. And I think the reason it keeps working is that he isn't performing indifference. He's simply not doing the other thing. The polished thing. The thing everybody else does. So, which one of these had you going hardest? The golf carts, the mega pint, the 3 jokes he'd been carrying around for months? Tell me in the comments. And if there's another actor you want given this treatment, put the name down. I'm reading every one of them.